So this video is about video game history, and this video is on Chapter 9, Video Games, and we're going to talk about the history of gaming, and just really briefly. So the first person who's credited with sort of getting the ball rolling, I guess, so to speak, is David Gottlieb, and he creates the first mass-produced arcade game called Baffle Ball, and you can figure that it was like a pinball game. It wasn't electric yet, and it didn't have flippers, but it was that type of thing. But the problem was that games were banned in some locations because you could win money, and they were seen as gambling, so that was a deterrent. But in 1947, he figured out a way to give additional turns instead of cash, and that bypassed the concern about this being a type of gambling. And it introduced a game called Humpty Dumpty with that. Fast forward to the 1960s, and those games that preceded this weren't computer-based. They weren't computer-based, so they're not the video games that we know of. They were just games, gaming history, so and arcade games. So Steve Russell at MIT invents the first interactive computer game, and at this time, let me go back a minute. At this time at MIT, it was one of the few universities that had computers there, and we're talking like huge, big, hulking computers, not the little handheld, or laptops or mobile devices that we have that are so much more powerful than those computers that took up entire rooms. At any rate, there was a group of people there that decided that they would write computer programs, write games. One of them, Steve Russell, decided he would try to make his a game, and he did create a game. It was Space War. It was the Tech Model Railroad Club, and they would write parts of the program and leave it by the computer for the next person to add on, and Steve Russell kind of took this and made it into a game. But the thing was, it really couldn't make money. It was too complicated, and it didn't hit the market yet. It didn't hit the right note in the market of people like us who would have access to it. Fast forward 10 years, Nolan Bushnell, he has a vision. He knows that you're going to have to do this in a certain way if you're going to capture the imagination of the average person. And he creates Computer Space. Now, that wasn't all that successful, but he also was a founder of Atari in 1972. And when they came out with Pong in 1972, that was the sweet spot. That was the game. I remember playing it when I was a kid. And that was the game that turned everything around. So that is a brief history until we get to Pac-Man and Donkey Kong, which are huge. And if you haven't seen the movie A Fistful of Quarters, King of Kong, see that.